Revenge on cheating wife, now ex, as well as the karma that came afterwards. So I'm in the army and married. I was about to go on my first deployment to Iraq. It was very stressful, and my wife begged me to find a way to remain and avoid deployment. Things that any wife would attempt to discuss. Anyway, we don't have any children, but we both want them. So, while I'm away, we chat about getting out of debt. She communicates with her closest buddy back home in another state where we both come from. Her buddy offers to let her move in and charge a low rent of $300 a month so that when I return, we can get out of debt and start a family. I was really pretty satisfied with the idea. When I deploy, she is there bawling her eyes out, claiming she will miss me and loves me, and that when we return, we will start a family. Let's fast forward 2 months. She begins to seem distant. We didn't want to chat much on our planned conversations, so we texted 1 or 2 word responses. We've been together for 6 years, and she's never been at a loss for words. Anyway, one day she says, "I need some space," and she asks someone 10,000 kilometers away for it. When I ask why, she claims she just wants space. She wants to discover herself. So, while we were living at home, she had a man who was constantly being borderline improper. I'm not a jealous person, and I believe in her. So I start seeing said man in pretty much every image she publishes with a group. Every time he appears in a photograph, everyone else evolves, but he never does. So, for the first time, I'm envious and concerned about everything. So I clone her phone and get every text message she receives, as well as every text message she sends. I'll never forget the first text message I received after cloning her phone. "Hey darling, I'll see you after work. Do you want some of my leftovers?" He owes her one. It annihilated me. In 1 week, I shed 35 pounds. I didn't eat or sleep because I was too preoccupied on the phone, listening in on every chat. I was listening to them speak about trying to have a kid. It was everything a married person dreads. I ask her whether she's seeing someone, and she answers no. She is looking after herself and loves me, blah blah. For the next 2 months, I don't mention anything about receiving her messages. During this time, she eventually confesses to straying, and that he is so much better at intimacy than I am, treating her well, and doing what she wants. During this period, she pays off our debt, gets tattoos with him, matching I love you tattoos, attends performances with him, buys clothing, and so on, with the money I'm bringing in. So here is where the vengeance begins. So, for the first time, I'm envious and concerned about everything. So I clone her phone and get every text message she receives, as well as every text message she sends. I'll never forget the first text message I received after cloning her phone. I placed the account on hold for a month and changed every password on every account to something she couldn't guess, Army jargon slang terms. I blocked her on Facebook and on my phone, so she can't reach me. She lost her vehicle to repossession a few months later, was evicted from her apartment, and was forced to sell her cherished shoes and handbags simply to survive. I later learned that she has taken a job at her previous eatery. So I publish all of the text conversations I've had with her and the man about having kids that have timestamps on them, as well as discussions we've had with matching timestamps showing all of our friends what she's done. I then had friends phone and complain about her work on both he and her. They work at a restaurant. Therefore, I have pals who dine and dash there as well. They are both fired. So she attempts to summon my command and inform them that I am leaving her and that she is unable to care for herself. My commander is aware of the situation. He does nothing since he experienced a similar experience. Then, about a month before I return, she phones from a different number to inform me she's pregnant with his child. Remember, I'm still away, so we can't divorce just yet. She walked away from him. I'm 10 hours away. 24th of April, 2018. She calls me 5 months pregnant, sobbing violently, and asks where she should go. After what seems to be a massive blow-up, she informs him that she is leaving. I just answer, "Sorry, not my issue anymore," when she claims she doesn't know where to go. Let's fast ahead. This year, January, she phones me on the phone of a mutual buddy. He smacked me. I'm not sure what to do. Perhaps you don't cheat on your spouse while he's deployed for some man who talks a great game, I said. Well, I presume you're thrilled about that, she says. No, but I'm delighted I'm not the evil person in this narrative, I say. Then the next month, she says, E is having an affair with 2 other women. I apologize. I'm sorry for what I done. I messed everything up. Yeah, you did, I said. Overall, this lady ruined my life. I went into a profound depression, which I'm still struggling with, but having confirmation that I wasn't the issue makes me feel a bit better. To think that if this had occurred even 10 or 5 years ago, I would have returned to an empty bank account, an empty home, and my then wife pregnant with another man's child. She really called me yesterday to beg for money to assist with rent. Please answer a few questions. I forgot to mention that we split before the child was born, so I have no financial obligation to her and haven't for about a year. To clone the phone, I mostly utilize T-Mobile's digit service. I'd rather Google it than type it. Also, I wasn't enjoying the fact that she had been physically beaten. I did encourage her to contact the police, but that was it. It's wrong to mistreat someone, but I also have no obligation to look out for her well-being. Story 2. My boyfriend, 31 male, just thought to mention that he's decided to travel with his friends for Thanksgiving, leaving me, 31 female, to scramble last-minute plans. We've been dating since September of this year. He went snowmobiling with his pals the first year. I traveled with my family for Thanksgiving. I didn't think much of it since we had just recently begun dating. I spent Christmas with my parents, who reside on the other side of the nation. He went skiing with his mates for Christmas. We enjoyed a COVID-safe outside supper with his parents the next year at their property, approximately 20 minutes distant from where we live. We celebrated Christmas on our own. It was a particularly difficult Christmas season for me since it was the first time I had spent no time with my family. For Thanksgiving. I didn't think much of it since we had just recently begun dating. I spent Christmas with my parents, who reside on the other side of the nation. He went skiing with his mates for Christmas. We enjoyed a COVID-safe outside supper with his parents the next year at their property, approximately 20 minutes distant from where we live. We celebrated Christmas on our own. It was a particularly difficult Christmas season for me since it was the first time I had spent no time with my family. My parents invited my brother and myself, as well as our significant others, to spend Christmas with them in September. I approached my partner about it, and he rejected, stating that he would be skiing with buddies. I don't want to be alone for Christmas, therefore I'm getting airline tickets, I said clearly. I'm not sure why it didn't occur to me to inquire about Thanksgiving arrangements at the time, but I think I just figured we'd be having a farm Thanksgiving with his parents again. He startled me today when he said he was going snowmobiling with his pals, since that's what I do every year. Woof! So, 12 days before Thanksgiving, I'm trying to make Thanksgiving arrangements so I don't spend it alone. I don't have any relatives within an 8-hour drive. Airfares are prohibitively costly. My boyfriend's father makes me feel quite uncomfortable, so I don't want to spend time with his parents, particularly not alone. And this snowmobile vacation is completely a boys' trip, and I'd have no interest in snowmobiling. I'm quite hurt. This is a major communication breakdown on our respective parts, but I'm the one who's been left behind, and it fucking stinks. He seems to be acting and making choices as a single individual. Where had the discussion about Thanksgiving preparations gone? If he knew he was going on a vacation during a significant holiday, why did I find out about it so late? If the positions were reversed, I'd be checking in to ensure he wasn't alone. Ugh.